I'm looking to see if we have anyone visiting for the first time with us.
We do.
We do. Welcome. We'll hand you a welcoming folder.
He's already got it?
Yeah. Okay, take a look at that, and hopefully you'll come back and see us again. If you have your cell phone with you, your smartphone, your Android, they are smarter than you think, so if you will turn them off, that will help us with our service. Thank you. We're excited today. Our guest musicians are the Omnitones and Wendy Greer. Wow, we get double up. Our reader today is Dale, and Nancy will be bringing us a message. So Dale, if you're ready, come on up.
I believe it's all right, and I'll do the testing, standard business. Good morning. Good morning. Are we, Yeah. Excellent. Who in this room remembers the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson?
Oh, yeah.
When Johnny was on vacation on Christmas Eve, and of course, he took a lot of vacations, as you remember, but mainly the Christmas Eve show was given over to his band leader, Doc Severinsen. They happened to run the same Christmas Eve show for like 10 years. And this is where I first heard this wonderful, beautiful, absolutely beautiful essay. I know that you all have heard it before, but on that particular program, it was read by actress Jane Wyatt, who of course played Mrs. Anderson on the Father Knows Best television show. And she did a marvelous job. Bing Crosby did a marvelous job. Sting did a marvelous job. Richard Burton and all that. Mine might be less than stellar, but I hope you enjoy this fantastic thing. Here's a man who was born in an obscure village, a child of a peasant woman. He grew up in another village, and he worked in a carpenter shop until he was 30. Then, for 3 years, he was an itinerant preacher. He never owned a home. He never wrote a book. He never held an office. He never had a family. He never went to college. He never put his foot inside a big city. He never traveled 200 miles from the place he was born. He never did one of the things that usually accompany greatness. He had no credentials but himself. While still a young man, the tide of popular opinion turned against him. His friends ran away. One of them denied him. He was turned over to his enemies. He went through the mockery of a trial. He was nailed upon a cross between two thieves. While he was dying, his executioners gambled for the only piece of property he had on earth, his coat. When he was dead, he was laid in a borrowed grave through the pity of a friend. I've had to alter this. 20 long centuries have come and gone, and today he is the centerpiece of the human race and leader of the column of progress. I am far within the mark when I say that all the armies that ever marched, all the navies that were ever built, all the parliaments that ever sat, and all the kings that ever reigned put together have not affected the life of man upon this earth as powerfully as has that one solitary life. Dr. James Allen Francis, 1926. Happy holidays to everyone.
Our first hymn this morning is Away in a Manger. You'll find it on page 24. We're going to sing both verses, so if you will rise when you are ready. Page 24, and we'll sing both verses.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody today? Oh, good to see you. Gosh, thousands of microphones to choose from. That's so exciting. Okay, so we are getting at the end. This is the fourth Sunday of Advent. And we have been hearing wonderful things since the end of November about hope and joy, peace, and today's topic is love, which is a pink candle. I've heard Marita quote many times from the Phillips version of the Bible, and I find myself really liking it. It's very conversational, very personal, and it's not in the old language. It's like right there with you. And I found 1 Corinthians 13 from the Phillips version, and it's really lovely. So I would just like to read it to you. Of course, everybody knows that's the one about love in the New Testament. And so if you'd like to just just relax and I'm just going to read it. No comment is actually necessary. It is just so beautiful. If I speak with the eloquence of men and of angels, but have no love, I become no more than blaring brass or crashing cymbal. If I have the gift of foretelling the future, and hold in my mind not only all human knowledge, but the very secrets of God, and if I also have that absolute faith which can move mountains, but have no love, I amount to nothing at all. If I dispose of all that I possess, yes, even if I give my own body to be burned, but have no love, I achieve precisely nothing. This love of which I speak is slow to lose patience. It looks for a way of being constructive. It is not possessive. It is neither anxious to impress, nor does it cherish inflated ideas of its own importance. Love has good manners and does not pursue selfish advantage. It is not touchy. It does not keep account of evil or gloat over the wickedness of other people. On the contrary, it is glad with all good men when truth prevails. Love has no limit to its endurance, no end to its trust, no fading of its hope. It can outlast anything. It is, in fact, the one thing that still stands when all else has fallen. When I was a little child, I talked and felt and thought like a little child. Now that I am a man, my childish speech and feeling and thought have no further significance to me. At present, we are men looking at puzzling reflections in a mirror. The time will come when we shall see reality whole and face to face. At present, all I know is a little fraction of the truth, but the time will come when I shall know it as fully as God now knows me. In this life, we have three great lasting qualities: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of them is love. So let's say our statement of being together, which is in an order of service. Together. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God, and am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Music.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature, heaven and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sound, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations rule. The glories of his
Well, that was really great.
Right?
That was wonderful. I never heard it sung that way, and that was wonderful. It was fantastic. Quite different. And the xylophone action was fabulous. Thank you, Grace. It was lovely. That was wonderful. Thank you. So now's the time in our service when we are going to do a meditation. So turn the lights down and bring up our prayer box. If you didn't put anybody's name in the prayer box today, that's okay. You can simply hold them in your heart as you hear these words, knowing that the words that I'm saying during the meditation are for them as well as for you and for everyone on our Valley Community prayer list. I invite you to close your eyes, if you're comfortable doing that, and to be still for just a short time. I invite you to release your burdens and your joys just for a time, as we're going to go into that closet. You're going to meet the Father in that special secret place of the Most High. So let us signal the body that we're changing gears now. Let us take a deep breath and let it out. An audible sigh of release is always good to really let the body know that you're slowing down. So let's do that again. Just melt into your chair. Take this time to focus within. There's no telephones ringing, no dogs barking, no sound of traffic. Let the mind be still. Let the body be still. Be still and know that I am God. I am still in thy presence, God of my being. I am quiet and peaceful, for I put my trust in thee. A great stillness steals over me, and a great calm quiets my whole being. I realize thy presence. My heart knows of thee, O Most High within. It is still in thy presence, and it puts its whole confidence in thee alone. I dwell in the house of love. My dwelling place is filled with peace and eternal calm. Love attends me in my home of the soul, and joy awaits upon me in the secret place of the Most High. My house is built for me by the hand of love, and I shall never leave this home of the Spirit, for it is always present. I shall abide in this home forever. The love of the all-good is within me and through me. That love goes out to meet all who come into my atmosphere. It radiates to all and is flowing through all. Love within me is perfect. Love, like the river of life, flows through me and refreshes me with its eternal blessings. Love cannot be afraid. It is fearless and strong and is mighty in its works. It can accomplish all things through the inner light of that faith in the all-good, which fills my very being with powerful presence. Like a cloak, God's love is wrapped around me. Like a garment, it shelters me. I feel and know that the almighty love envelops me in its close embrace. O divine love, my love, how wonderful thou art. I am open to receive thy great blessing. Let us just sit with that for just a moment. And while we are still, let us pray together the way Jesus taught his disciples. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed is thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will is done, on earth as it is in heaven. Thou givest us this day our daily bread. Thou forgivest us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Thou leadest us not into temptation, but dost deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Well, I have not said the old traditional Our Father in 6 years, and I still went there on that second line. Even though I was looking at it, that's how ingrained sometimes our prayers are. I was just like, whoa, wait, why did I say that? It was totally not in the right tense. It just goes to show you how deep our traditional training goes, actually. Okay. Today's lesson is the merits of the fourth horse, or pink blankets of love. In one of the Buddha's discourses, he describes 4 horses. We have the excellent horse, the good horse, the poor horse, and the worst horse. Now let's visualize a stagecoach being drawn by 4 horses, and of course there's a driver sitting in the seat behind them. Now the excellent horse moves before he even hears the crack of the whip. He even senses the movement of the other 3 horses as they're going down the lane. The excellent horse also feels behind him the movement on that rickety old stagecoach seat, the driver. He's the excellent horse. Now, the good horse, he actually moves at the slightest touch of the whip. I mean, it might just be a little right on the ear, and he's like, okay, I need to go faster. The poor horse moves faster when the whip actually hits his back. Just ping, a little harder than just that little tiny flick. Okay, so that's the poor horse. And the really bad horse, the worst horse, the fourth horse, doesn't even contemplate moving any faster until the whip bites into his back and he actually feels the pain. And actually he moves faster because he wants to get away from the pain. So it's this fourth horse, the worst horse, that I'm concerned with today. Because when most of us find ourselves to be the worst horse, we actually become inspired. Many of us can relate to this worst horse scenario because we have a tendency to wait until we are in lots of pain before we do anything about it. Physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain. We're just that darn worst horse. However, when the pain gets bad enough, sometimes that's when we actually move. We get out of our own way and we make something happen. However, a lot of times when we are feeling this worst horse scenario, we look out there for the problem. Well, let's see. It's her fault. It's his fault. It's my boss's fault. It's the weather. That dumb chair. The tree just jumped right out in front of me. I didn't even see it. We've all been there, of course. We all know what that feels like. We like to blame everything out there. However, for most of us who've been coming here for a while, or reading New Thought authors even, we know that we must look deeper than what's happening out there. We have to look within to our true nature, which is love. When we see our life falling apart out there, that's the time to go within and find some loving kindness that we can have toward ourselves. It's not the time to get mad at all that out there, because that is not going to help anything. In Catherine Ponder's book, The Prospering Power of Love, she tells of a doctor showing her a study about psychosomatic illnesses. The various doctors had compiled all of their analyses of all these various diseases, and they also added to it what they thought was the emotional and mental attitude accompanying the psychosomatic illness. And Ponder noticed that in each entry there was something about the person feeling a lack of love. Whether it was lack of self-esteem, or all the different areas in which we choose to not love ourselves, she found that listed in almost every entry. Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, comes to mind also. You're chuckling back there, I see you. That's because you're reading it right now?
Every morning.
Oh, it's a wonderful book. At the time that she wrote her book, You Can Heal Your Life, the longest surviving AIDS patient was under her care. She's not a doctor. She was teaching him about self-love. And he was still alive because she was teaching him how to love himself, which is just so wonderful. Where there is a need for love, all we have to do is look within. Don't have to look out there for it. It's right here. Love, just like God, is always immanent and available. Emmett Fox wrote this: "There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer." Of course, he's not talking about the sentimental or emotional love. He is talking about that deep love that wells up from within us because we are loved, because God first loved us. We lose our sense of this deep, abiding, spiritual love that we are by doing what I always love to say, by stepping on that hose. Love is all around us. God is flowing in and through and around us always. And if you put all of that in a hose, and it's just all everywhere, it's so wonderful, we're just going crunch. And sometimes we go with both feet. You've heard me say this before, because this is the best image that I can find about why we don't feel the love of God, or even can love ourselves. It's because we are stepping on that hose that cuts off the love. God never cuts off the love. We do it to ourselves. We cut off that flow, because God would never do that, ever. We just forget that we're standing on the hose. That's what happens. And this spiritual love might, if we're certainly fortunate enough to really get off that hose, come to the surface of our consciousness when we are experiencing that worst horse scenario. And it might actually propel us to leap off the hose and to get into the flow of life, into the flow of love. So consider this statement. Wherever God is at all, the whole of God must be. And because God is omnipresent, the whole of God's love must be present at every point in space. Oh, wait, I'm a point in space. You're a point in space. You're a point in space. Everybody is a point. Whoa, that is really backfiring over here. Everybody's a point in space. The chair is actually a point in space, because everything has energy. And actually, love flows through everything on the planet, everything in the universe. So if God, who is love, is present wherever you are, then you always have access to that love. You are always in the presence of an infinite, eternal love energy, no matter what is going on in your life, no matter how horrible it may feel at that moment. Love is the creative force. It is the creative flow that emanates from your center. Now, we may not feel it because we're stepping on the hose, but it's there, and it wants to like flow out into life. It is not something that we acquire out there. It'll be out there when you are reciprocating in your life, but you don't get it out there because love's home is right here. It starts here. So our worst horse scenario, which means really any human dilemma, is not caused by the absence of love. It is caused by the frustration of love. We are frustrating the flow of love. We're doing it to ourselves. And that's really great news. I always like to say that. That's great news. Because if I'm disrupting the flow, I'm the only one who can open it up. Which means I don't have to depend on anybody out there. I don't have to ask anybody to love me in order for me to feel good about myself. All I have to do is open to myself. And open to that divine love. Stop frustrating the flow. Get off the hose. So we cannot expect the world out there to give us peace and love because it comes from within. Any peace and love that we perceive really out there is only temporary. Our great need is to get off the hose, let the love flow from within out. This is a really important realization because as love flows out from our own consciousness, it attracts the wonderful, loving relationships. It attracts prosperity and success. And it does that without any effort. You don't have to let go and beat your head against the wall to find it. It just shows up because you're doing your work right here, right now, within yourself. It is said that love is the strongest force in the universe. So, I'm thinking that we could use the power of love to transform our lives. The poet Edwin Markham said this. Well, he didn't say it, he wrote it. He drew a circle that shut me out. Heretic rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that took him in. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that just so lovely? So in reality, it does not matter how others treat us. Because it's them doing whatever they're doing. If we don't like it, we can use the power of love to transform any situation, any experience, and any relationship. We do not have the right, however, to interfere with how people interact with others, nor do we have the right to change anyone. Of course, we all know that. But we can do something about how somebody interacts with us personally without saying a word to them. Sometimes situations are so picky, sticky, wicky that the thought of actually trying to work it out with somebody makes you want to throw up. Right? Have you ever had a relationship like that? Where somebody at work, somebody in your family, somebody somewhere, it's just like, it's like there's some weird, bad juju energy between the two of you, and you just can't find the words to fix it. You can't find the conversation. You have it over and over again in your head. It's just like, oh no, that will never work. Oh no, oh no, I'll just hit her. Oh no, that's not going to happen. Okay? Yeah, you're all laughing because you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So you don't want to do that, but there is a way, and it's just a wonderful way. And here's how. The Reverend Dr. Marty Dow was my very first New Thought mentor when I lived in Florida. And she has written this little book called Let Love Transform Your Life. And she tells some really amazing stories where she used love in a situation. So I'm going to share with you her main one that happened back in the 70s. She tells this story. Okay, so in 1974, she is working at a very special place. It's an alternative program for juvenile offenders. She's a licensed clinical social worker. And one of her clients, I'm going to call him Johnny, was emotionally disturbed, and he knew how to push every single button she even ever had. He pushed buttons she didn't even know she had. And this guy really hated women. because he had lots of mother issues, and it just so happened that Marty was the only female staff member at this program. So she really caught all of his anger whenever anything would come up. It was very distressing for her, but eventually he did something, kind of kicked out of the program, so he got suspended for a little while, so that kind of gave her a little bit of relief from it, but it was not a permanent solution. She knew he was going to come back, but she'd been really meditating on just trying to figure out what to do. So meanwhile, during this time, she was introduced to the head of the program. We're going to call him Jack. She says he was the most obnoxious person she had ever met in her entire life. Most obnoxious. Okay, I'm thinking she was probably in her mid-30s, so that's not a whole lot of years, but still, her whole life. When she met him, and they shook hands, he pulled a necklace out of his shirt that had a silver pig on it. He pointed it up in her face, and he said, "This is how I feel about women." The whole rest of the weekend that she was at this meeting, he went on and on, one sexual innuendo after another. Now that was the early 70s. That would not happen today. Back then, he was her boss, she just had to put up with him. If she didn't like it, she would have to quit because you don't say anything, because then they'll just say you're just blah, 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 blah. So she just thought, well, okay, I'm putting up with it now, but he's going to be gone back to the home office. I don't have to see him anymore. And she's like, okay. Well, guess what? He was coming back 2 weeks later for another meeting. And she just was beside herself. And so she sat down to meditate on it. And then somehow, of course I don't believe in coincidences, she picked up Catherine Ponder's book, The Prospering Power of Love. And she read it from cover to cover right away. She only had 2 weeks to figure this out, right? So she decided to use Catherine Ponder's ideas and follow her advice, and she was going to apply this to these two troublesome people, Johnny and Jack. So she began to sit down every day and visualize herself with each person, surrounding them with love and light, and imagining the two of them having great conversations and interacting in positive ways. Now, at first it was really challenging because she really was angry with both of these people. And it was really hard for her to actually send love and light, or to see them surrounded with love and light, but she kept at it, and she was persistent. And finally, she found herself not being as angry, and she could actually surround them with love and light and feel good about it, and she actually was developing a sense of compassion, because she knew that these two people who were so angry and not happy were not happy people. So she started to have compassion for them. Now, as she walked in her meeting 2 weeks later, of course, the first person she sees is Jack. So she sees him, and she's just bolstered by her meditations and her feelings of love for him. She just sort of stood there, and he walked right up to her, shook her hand, and apologized. Now, she thought, wow, this stuff's pretty good. She was really happy that her experiment had actually had a good result. However, what she was unaware of, what she did not find out until later that day, was that that was actually a miracle that occurred. Because this man never, ever took responsibility for his actions, was actually the pig in the scenario, was horrible towards women, and was not even shy about it. He never, ever apologized to anyone, ever. No one who ever worked for this guy ever saw him apologize. If he did, he would take you into an office and do it where nobody would see him, because he would never admit that he was wrong in front of other people. He apologized to her in front of 20 people standing in the lobby. And they were all like, they all like practically sucked the air out of the room. They were amazed that he did that. So that was like love had actually performed an amazing miracle. It was like, she was astounded. It was just so wonderful. So then she heard that Johnny was actually coming back to school on Monday. And so she was thinking, well, is this going to work for him too? Not in her wildest dreams would she ever have thought that her her interaction in her own consciousness with this young man, Johnny, surrounding him with love, would have the reaction that it had. This guy became her best friend. He followed her everywhere. He would always talk to her. He would share with her. He would say, "What can I do for you today?" He couldn't do enough for her. So she laughed and she went into the when she went into the teacher's lounge. All the men were there, and she looked at them and she said,
I'll do a two-hander.
"Did I miss something? Did you guys all have a sex change?" Because now they were like, he was treating them with hostility, like they were all his mother, and he was treating her like someone that he really loved, which was not his mother, but she was a woman. I mean, it was just amazing. So it was, she told me this story personally, so, you know, I saw her face when she was explaining this to me, and she said it was the most amazing testament to what your consciousness can do. You can't do it for others. He still treated everybody else in the whole place with hostility, but not her. So you can do that with anybody in your life. But it's only going to work between you and that person. They are not all of a sudden going to become wonderful and treat everybody fabulously. It's because you're putting the effort in and using, let's say, a technique, a meditation, in order to make your relationship with that person different. But you're not going to talk to them about it. You're not going to discuss it. You're not going to talk about something that happened 5 years ago that you're still mad about, because that doesn't help anybody. So, we're going to put in a little effort right now. We're going to do this experiment. So, I want you to get comfortable in your seat, just for a few minutes. We're just going to do something really simple, because we are going to feel the power of intention. I want you to think of a relationship that you would like to change. Make it something that only involves one person and is not too complicated. Of course, human interactions are always a little on the complicated side, but just think of just a simple relationship, or the way you speak with someone, or how they speak to you. You want to change it. Okay, so I want you just to take a few deep breaths and just relax. Now, I would like for you to picture that person in your mind's eye. That doesn't mean you have to actually see them, but I want you to think of them. If you can't actually image them, it's okay. Have them in your thought. Think of this person. Now I want you to imagine surrounding them with love and light. If you have a hard time with trying to figure out how to do that, what I like to use is that pink blanket of love. I see them surrounded by beautiful, soft pinkness. It's pink and it's velvety soft, and it's loving and it's caressing. And it's caressing them with love. And you can have yourself also, in that loving, wonderful caress, just feel warmth and just pink love all around your own self. Now see the two of you interacting in a way that you would like to see it be different. See both of yourselves smiling at each other while you are having this wonderful conversation. Smile to yourself right now. Wow, this is great. Feel a positive emotion within yourself, like joy, as you watch yourself conversing with this person in such a positive, wonderful way. And imagine yourself telling a friend about how wonderful it is that this relationship that was so awful is now changed and wonderful. See yourself joyfully celebrating this wonderful transformation. Feel the joy. Now you have to let it go, knowing that it is done. I would like for you to try this experiment every day on that one person, until you feel the tension leaving you as you are thinking of them and seeing them, visualizing them being with you. When you feel that tension leaving you during that meditation time, during that imagining, visualization time, and you are able to do this without any negativity flowing through your consciousness, and you've developed a little compassion for that person, seeing them maybe for the first time, I can promise you something will happen. Because I have done this many times, and it really works. And Marty, she taught me very well. Life is consciousness. And nobody wants to be in pain. Nobody wants to cause pain to other people. So if we just spend some time by ourselves, just even a few minutes a day, we can change the world. Jesus says it is easy to love the people who love you back. It's so easy. But to love those people who spitefully use you, to love those people, to surround them with pink blankets of love, that's hard. That's challenging. That's not what we go to. We just keep up the not realizing that we can change it. We really can. So that's where the rubber meets the road. If you want to change something, you can do it. Can you pass that love test? At Valley Community Church, we say we follow the teachings of Jesus. So let's get to it and practice transforming our lives and the lives of other people within our community of people that we actually involve ourselves with by this transforming power of love. And so what we just did, that little experiment that we just did, I have here. So if anybody would like a copy of this, I can give you one. I'd be happy to. Also, Marty's book, Let Love Transform Your Life, is wonderful. She tells some other wonderful stories. It's just a little booklet. She also has either a CD or maybe she still has just cassettes. I don't know. She wrote this in the 70s. But I know how to get a hold of her because I talk to her all the time. So if anybody would actually love this little thing, let me know, and I can order some from Marty. Okay, so who wants one of these? Everybody? I hope everybody. If not, well, here, just take those and pass them down, okay? And well, I'm going to assume that everyone in this room has at least one person they need to do this with. I mean, maybe one, maybe 10, maybe 5, maybe, at least one, I'm sure.
Maybe 100.
Or maybe 100. Oh, I only made 20. Let's see, how many do we have?
Thank you.
But I can make more in the...
Here, I'll get
Oh, we have more here. Okay. Okay. Oh, good. I have enough for
you.
you.
Have enough? If not, I can get one.
No, we got...
Y'all got one back here?
No, Doug, he's happy with everybody. He doesn't need one. He says, no, I don't need one.
You got one? Okay.
So this is just really a great little thing to try. I mean, so you just did it just now. And so if you take that person that you thought of today and just keep doing it until something happens within you. And when something happens within them, you'll know that what you did, in your consciousness, it changed that other person and how they related to you. But don't expect them to relate to other people that way, because those other people have to do their work. You can only affect the change between you and the energetic, the energetic energy between you and another person. So, but anyway, try it. It's just a wonderful thing. Okay. Music, more music.
This is a Christmas lullaby by the contemporary Christian group Mercy Me.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Heaven's watching out for you tonight. Oh, watching you tonight. Hush, little baby, don't you fret. Nothing's gonna hurt you, not even death. No, no, not even death. Lullaby, that heaven and angels sing for you tonight. For you tonight. This is our lullaby. Peace on earth has finally arrived. Hush now, Mary, don't be afraid. Baby done come to clear the way. Oh, come to clear the way. Hush now, Joseph, don't you fuss. Soon this child gonna carry us. Oh, gonna carry us. Lullaby, heaven and angels sing for you tonight. For you tonight. This is our lullaby. Peace on earth has finally arrived. But the angel said to them, do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, which will be for all the people. For today, in the city of David, there has been born for you a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth, peace among men with whom he is pleased. The day will come soon enough when you are singing over us. But tonight, sleep in heavenly peace. We'll be the ones to sing. Lullaby, that heaven and angels sing for you tonight. For you tonight. This is our lullaby. Peace on earth has finally arrived. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Heaven's watching out for you tonight. Oh, watching you tonight.
Oh my, how beautiful. Wendy, are you coming out?
No,
You singing, Wendy?
no, go ahead, do what you got to do. She's going to sing afterwards.
Okay. Thanks for telling me.
Okay?
I feel comfortable around you.
Good. You are loved.
Well, as usual, my cheeks are hurting from smiling so much. So far, I've had a great service. It's time now for us to give that which was first given us. Will you say with me the blessing for the gifts today? Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept His will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God.
I'm just going to go ahead and give this to you, Ann, and you can pass it.
So here's our little prayer basket. I'm going to pass this around. And just as when we want to transform our relationship with others, as we pray for them and we encircle them with love, we can also do this for people that we don't know, even if it's just an initial right here. So when we are doing this and surrounding others with love, it also surrounds us with love. So praying for others is actually kind of selfish because we actually are praying for ourselves too.
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine.
I've said it 100 times, I'll say it again, we have the best musicians right here in our church. Thank you all. Arlington was ringing. It was wonderful, as always. And Rick and the Chicks is what we call them most of the time. Chick and Rick, whatever. So anyhow, short announcements for today. First, I want to thank everybody that came out last night for the concert. We had a great time. Everybody was singing and having a good time, and we had wonderful snacks. We had about 50 people here, so it was really good. So we appreciate everybody that supported that. This, let's see, Saturday, I get the days mixed up because this Christmas thing's throwing me off here. Christmas Eve is Saturday night. Christmas Eve service, 7 p.m. here. We will not have service on Sunday morning, correct? Correct. Right, okay. I'll be making a one call on this week, hope I don't get it mixed up in case it comes Sunday night. But it's like, I can't get used to not having church on Sunday. Okay, then we will have a New Year's party on December the 31st. We'll be talking about that later. If you did not get your Christmas pin when you came in, make sure that you get that. We've tried to switch up and do different things. Everybody says, where's my pin? We love these pins. So you're getting a pin again this year. So everybody, some people wanted to. So anyhow, make sure you get your pin. Let's see. I know some people will not be here on Christmas Eve. And if you got a poinsettia and you want to take it home today, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we will take them home on Christmas Eve. But if you want to take it today, go right ahead and do that. Join us next door for snacks. We still have a few cookies left from last night, but we have some of Ann's wonderful hot chocolate left from last night too, and I understand Marita really likes it. Also, there's Christmas cards. As most of you know, we have a Christmas box with cards so that if you want to give people in the church a Christmas card, you don't have to mail it, you can do it. So please check the box today and take your Christmas cards home with you. Also, I know that some people probably will not be here on Christmas Eve. I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, and I want to thank you from the board for all your support this year, and look forward to a new year and new things coming up in the future to help our church continue to grow and be happy and love. So anyhow, thank you all again, and hope to see you next door here.
And thank you, Jan, for all that you've done.
I want to say just one thing, and that is, we will not be having the Wednesday evening 5 o'clock meeting for the next couple of weeks.
Okay, but we will be having the coffee at Mill Mountain. We will
Yes.
still be doing that.
This is just a 5 o'clock meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our closing hymn is the First Noel. You can find it on page 34, and we will sing verses 1, 2, and 4. That's page 34, verses 1, 2, and 4.